Now we have learned that how the earth is formed and how the life on the earth was born. The first cell, that is protoplasm, was formed in the ocean on the earth, right? How the unicellular organism clubbed or grouped together to form a multicellular organism, and different species were formed from one cell. So that is called as multidimensional. Now we say that evolution is a progressive development. Due to mutation, different genes are passed from one generation to another generation, and specific characters or development has taken place in different species. We say that yes, human beings are now well developed, we have great brains, we have erect posture, so we have evolved slowly and gradually. So where is the evidences that yes, we have common ancestors? We need certain proof of evolution. So our next topic is evidences of evolution. The first evidence we are going to study is a morphological evidences. Now morphology means outer appearance we can see, that is called as morphology. The external visible similarities that we see in different species is called as morphological evidences. Now this image is taken from your textbook page number 4. The first row shows the animal images, in which the first image is dog, then second one is sheep and fox. What visible similarities you can see in this animals? See, the position of nostrils is same, right? See the structure of eyes, see the face structure is somewhat similar, the ear pinna is there, right? The bodies are covered with thickly hair, the hairs are very thick, right? So the body is also covered with the hair. So this all similarities we can see in this three animals. So this indicates that they have originated from the same cell, or they have the common ancestors. This evidences we see also in plants, not only in animals but we also see in plants. Now in second row you see the shape of leaf is somewhat similar. The leaves are green in color, they have leaf blade, leaf venation, and they have leaf petiole. See how the fruits are grown, the bunch of fruits are grown are somewhat similar. So this is the outer appearance, the visible external appearance we can see, that is called the morphological evidences. So all these morphological similarities among plants and animals indicate us that the origin of different plants and animals must be same. Hence, we conclude that this all have common ancestors. These three animals must have common ancestors, and these three different plants, mango, chiku, and this is maybe orange, have the common ancestors. So this is the morphological evidences. The next second evidence we are going to learn is anatomical evidences. Now what is anatomy? Anatomy is a scientific study of internal organs. Now internal organs, you have skeletal system, you have digestive system, different organs are present, circulatory system. So studying inside, the study of inside the body, the internal organ study is called as anatomy. Now in this anatomical evidences we are going to study about the bone structure, the skeletal structure. Now you can see the first image, that is human hand. The second image is cat's foreleg. The cat's front two legs is called as cat's foreleg. This is a pentagium of bat. Bat has wings, so the wings of bat is called as pentagium. And the flipper of whale, which is used for swimming and balancing while swimming. Now all the structures have different function in the body, right? Human hand is used to write, to eat, and to pick anything. Cat's foreleg is used to walk, then pentagium of bat is used to fly, and flipper of whale is used to swim. So all the functions of this skeletal or the bony structure is different, and even the position are different, right? But there is no superficial similarities, but you can see the bony structure is somewhat similar. The bony joints, the bony structure is somewhat similar in this structure of bones. So this indicates that they have common ancestors, right? This bony structure tell us that this all animals have somewhat common ancestor. That's why they have same structures of bones. So this is the anatomical evidences. Now this anatomical evidences was asked in March 2020 SSC board exam. So mark it as important. The next evidence we are going to study is a vestigial organ. As the name suggests that these organs are waste in our body. There is no function in our body, so it is also called as vestigial organs. Now what is the definition of vestigial organ? The first line of this paragraph, that is degenerated or underdeveloped useless organs, means it is non-functional, are called as vestigial organs. Now due to sudden development, that is continuous evolution take place, right? So some organs are not useful in next generation. So what will happen to that organ? It will degenerate, it will go into undeveloped. So that is called as a vestigial organ. Now vestigial organs are useful in some organism, means they are functional in some organism, and they are non-functional in some organism. So if any organism has vestigial organ that is non-functional, no work at all, okay, so it is called as a vestigial organ. And if that organ is functional in some organism, so it is not vestigial for that organism. Now you have heard about appendix, which is present in our digestive system. Now appendix is useless organ for human beings. Sometimes it grows in your digestive system and it has to operate and remove from your body. But in some human being it doesn't grow. In some human being it may be harmful. So appendix is very harmful for the human beings. It is harmful for some human beings. It is useless, but it is very useful and fully functional in ruminants. Ruminants means buffalo, cows, ox. So appendix is useful in those organisms, in ruminants, but for human beings it is vestigial organ. Now the muscles of ear pinna. The ear pinna we have, right? You can see the image that is given. So this ear pinna is not useful for us, but it is useful in other animals like monkeys, dog. They move their ears, right? They to capture sound from long distance. So it is very useful for various animals, but for humans it is not at all useful. So it is a vestigial organ for human beings. Just imagine कि अगर हमें ear pinna नहीं होता तो हम कैसे दिखते हैं. It is vestigial, but it is very important for our beautiful face, I think. Right? Okay. So now the next vestigial organ in humans is tailbone. Now we all know that we have evolved from monkeys or chimpanzee. Now monkeys have tail, right? But we humans now we don't need tail because we have erect posture and we can balance our body properly. Why the tails are present in animals? To balance the body as they jump from one tree to another tree. Now humans don't jump from one tree to another tree, right? So we have degenerated the tail, but we have small tailbone at our back. As you can see the image, the tailbone is also called as coccyx. जस्ट इमेजिन कि अगर हमें अभी भी टेल होता तो हम कैसे दिखते. Very funny, right? So yes, the tailbone, it is degenerated, but it is also present, which is also evidence that yes, we have evolved from monkeys. Okay, the next vestigial organ is wisdom tooth. This teeth is not useful for chewing at all, but it gives lots of pain. I have gone through this wisdom tooth. Now, wisdom tooth comes at the age after 20 years. So, in Marathi, it is also called as Akkal Dad. Okay, I don't know what it is called in other languages. So, the wisdom tooth is also a vestigial organ. Now, also body hairs, which are present on human beings, is also a vestigial organ. Why we need hairs? Now animals need hairs because they have to protect themselves from winters or snow, right? But we human know how to need a sweater, and we can wear sweater. We are smartest animal, so know there is no need of hair. So hair is also a vestigial organ in our body. So this was all about the vestigial organ, which is the evidence that yes, we have evolved from certain animal. Now hairs, we have shed off thickly hair, but we have small quantities of hair that grows on our body. So that is a proof that also we have evolved from monkeys.